Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students of Viic, this is your teacher Muhammad Ilyas, and this is our third interaction with each other. And we are now going to focus for the today's topic, and that is from your chapter 20. Your book is NLS Science 2. The page number is 238 to 252. And the dear students, the topic is ecology. Our today's objectives to understand the concept of ecology, habitat and its biotic and abiotic factors. The number 2 on which we will focus that the physical and biological environments, its components and their importance. And number 3 on which we'll be focusing the ecosystem and its different types. So dear students, be ready. We are going to start with the topic, that is ecology. What is ecology? Dear students, ecology is basically the interaction between the living organisms and their environment, in which environment they are living and how they are getting different things which are necessary for the life and how they are interacting with each other, and this we will focus today, inshallah. The first thing which we will be focusing is the habitat. What is habitat? Habitat is a natural home of an organism where it lives, get food, get shelter and reproduce. For example, the ponds, rock pools and the trees are the habitats of many organisms. As you can see in this picture, that this is a pond and so many organisms are living in there. Now we are going to focus on the environment. What is environment? Everything which around an organism that affects its way of life is called its environment. Everything which surrounds us, it may be living, it may be non-living. The living things are called the biotic environment and the non-living things are called the physical or abiotic environment. Now we are going to focus on the abiotic environment or physical environment. The climate of a place plays an important role in the physical environment of that place, and the physical environment in return determines the types of organisms which live there. As the environment can never be best suited for every organism living in it, some organisms have adapted to their environment by developing certain features which enable them to live successfully in their environment. Dear students, now we are going to focus on some physical factors which make up the physical environment. And the first of these physical environment is light. All green plants use light energy from the sun to make their own food, as the other form of life on earth depend directly or indirectly on green plants for food. They are also dependent on light for survival. Light also enables many living organisms to see so that they can move about, find food and detect danger. Dear students, there are some organisms such as earthworms prefer to stay in the dark. They have developed special features to live in a dark environment. There are some certain insects such as fireflies and deep sea fish produce their own light to illuminate the prey, confuse their predator or attract their mates. The second physical environment is the temperature. The heat received from the sun directly influences the temperature of a place. Most organisms are active at temperatures between 0 degrees centigrade to 45 degrees centigrade. However, aquatic animals and marine plants can remain active at freezing temperature of around -1 degree centigrade. On the other extreme, certain invertebrates live in hot springs which have temperatures of about 50 degrees centigrade, while some algae can grow in waters at temperatures of about 80 degrees centigrade. So temperature controls the process of reproduction also in some plants. Some plants will not develop seeds unless they are subjected to certain temperature for a period of time. So this explains why some fruits and flowers are seasonal. So now students, you can understand the importance of temperature. Now we are moving towards the importance of water. Water is essential for life and is therefore present in the environment of every organism. For aquatic animals and plants, whether marine or freshwater, water is the medium in which they live. The distribution of land organisms correspond closely to the distribution of water over the land surface. Organisms are in general most abundant where water is available. Organisms living in dry places have some special adaptations to store water and reduce water loss. For example, cactus, a desert plant, has spine instead of leaves to cut down water loss through transpiration. It also has a thick stem to store water. Another example is camels can grow without water, can move without water for weeks. They can drink a lot of water at one time and their body fats can break down to provide them with energy and metabolic water. So from here, from this discussion, we can understand the importance of water. Dear students, now we are moving towards the minerals. Minerals are needed by plants for healthy growth, like nitrates. They use the nitrates to make proteins, and plants obtain minerals from the soil in which they grow. Another very important factor is the pH. The pH value of water determines the type of aquatic organisms that can live in it. Freshwater organisms live in freshwater with a pH of about 7. Marine organisms live in sea with a pH value about 8. Most organisms cannot survive in environments which are too acidic or alkaline. That is why acid rain can kill aquatic life in rivers and lakes and the trees in the forest. So now you can understand the importance of pH. Another very important factor is the oxygen. Most organisms need oxygen for respiration. Land organisms take in oxygen from the air, while aquatic organisms take in oxygen that is dissolved in the water. But if the water is polluted, some organisms has developed some certain sort of adaptations to live in that polluted waters. For example, the lungfish adapt themselves in water with little dissolved oxygen by gulping gaseous oxygen directly from the air. Another example is rat-tailed maggot that can live in polluted water because it can get oxygen from the air using its long breathing tube. Now we are going to focus on the biotic environment, means the living environment. It's made up of all other living things which in any way influence the life of the other organisms. Every living organism interact with other organisms by feeding on them, competing with them for food, or by providing them with the shelter and protection. So what are the interaction of the organisms with each other? The first interaction is called the herbivores. Herbivores are those organisms which eat the plants. Examples which are given in your book as well: the grasshopper, deer, and these feeds on the plants. Another type of interaction of organism is called the carnivores. These are such organisms or animals that feed on other animals. Example is lion, tigers, and leopards. And omnivores are those animals that feed on plants and animals both. Examples: pigs, bears, and raccoons, and even you and me means humans. Scavengers. Scavengers are the animals that feed only on the dead organic matters. Vultures is example of scavengers. Another important relationship is a predator-prey relationship. Predators are the animals that hunt other animals for food. The animals which are hunted are their prey. For example, a lion is a predator and a zebra is its prey. You can see here how the predator is eating its prey. Some prey have developed some certain forms of protection to escape detection by the predators, and this is called camouflage. Camouflage is a pattern for or coloring that disguise an organism or blends it with its surrounding. You can see here. Now we are moving towards another type of relationship between the two different organisms, that is called the mutualism. Mutualism is a relationship between the two organisms in which both benefits. The clownfish and the sea anemone. The sea anemone provides shelter and the protection for the clownfish, and the clownfish provides food to the sea anemone. You can see in this picture how the clownfish is present with the sea anemone, and both are getting the benefits from each other. Another relationship is called commensalism. Commensalism exists when two different kinds of organisms living together, and one is getting the benefits while the other is getting nothing, not benefits, not harmed. And this type of relationship is called commensalism. You can see the example of commensalism, that is a remora fish and the shark. The remora fish attaches itself to a shark and feeds on the food scattered by the shark, and the shark neither benefits from the remora fish nor is harmed by it. So this type of relationship between the two organisms is called commensalism. Parasitism. This is very dangerous. It's a type of relationship involving two kinds of organisms. One is called the parasite and the second is the host. And in this relationship, one is getting benefit and the second is getting harmed by the parasite, the host. You can see this is a dengue mosquito biting on a man's skin. It's getting the blood from the human body, but in return it's giving harm to the human body, causing the dengue disease. There's few other examples which are mentioned in your book. You can consult your book for that examples. Now we are going to focus on the ecosystem. What is the ecosystem? Ecosystem is when the different communities interact with one another and their physical environments, they form an ecosystem. There are different type of ecosystems which are present in your book: the grassland ecosystem, the desert ecosystem, and the river ecosystem. Dear students, different populations of plants and animals living together in same habitat, they make the community. You can see the example of community as well with this diagram, with these diagrams. So community is when different populations of different organisms living together in the same habitat, they make a community. This is all about your chapter 20, that is ecology. I have selected some questions from the review questions, question number 1 to 4 from the chapter 20, and these questions are present on the page number 251. You have to do it on your homework notebooks and send to your respective groups. Dear students, thank you very much for staying with me. Allah Hafiz, stay home, stay safe. Thank you very much again.